Hi there, I'm Chef Eric Crowley, owner of the Culinary Classroom in Los Angeles, and today we are going to make coconut creme brulee. The ingredients are 1 pint or 2 cups of heavy cream, half a cup of shredded sweetened coconut, 5 egg yolks, 1/3 cup plus 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, a pinch of salt, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. To begin with our coconut creme brulee, the first thing that we need to do is we actually need to flavor our heavy cream. I have 2 cups of heavy cream in this pot, and we're gonna flavor it by steeping shredded sweetened coconut. I'm gonna go ahead and add that on in, give the pot a little swirl to go ahead and get it incorporated and begin to scald it. While that is scalding, we can go ahead and we can separate our eggs. You can check that out on another video on Mahalo.com. We take it off the heat, we cover it up with a lid and let it steep for about 15 minutes in order to pull that flavor of the coconut out and get it into the cream. Our next step is to strain it in order to utilize just the cream itself, because pretty much all the flavor has been pulled out of the coconut and is now inside the cream. We're going to wind up utilizing a little basket strainer and a small bowl. Pour the cream on through, and that is our strained coconut cream. We're going to take our sugar and combine it with our egg yolks with our little pinch of salt and half a teaspoon of vanilla. I'm going to blend these together with a whip. Get them really nicely combined. So we're going to do a classic technique that we call tempering, and that involves taking our hot liquid and incorporating it into some eggs by gradually pouring it in while we're constantly whipping and moving around our egg yolks. Going to take the hot cream and slowly pour it in. Notice I'm also pouring the cream and letting it drip over the wires of the whip. That's going to help cool off the cream, and that's also going to help bring up the temperature of the eggs. And I'm going to bring out a pan that I have prepared to make our custards. Okay. Usually a shallow dish like this will work really well for a creme brulee or a custard. This will help ensure that it winds up baking fairly rapidly. I have the molds inside a larger pan. You could use like a Pyrex baking dish at home, or 2 or 3 if you have smaller dishes. You'll also notice I have a dish towel on the bottom here as well. This is going to help even out the baking of the custard. Another thing that we're also going to wind up utilizing is some hot water. I'm going to first get this custard into these molds, and the easiest way to do that, I find, is with a pitcher. So after I get it all combined, I'm going to pour the custard into a measuring pitcher, and then go ahead and take the custard and pour it into my molds. I usually will fill it up about halfway to start off with, and then if I have any custard left over, go ahead and continue filling. This is a very, very rich dessert, so you don't need a lot of custard. I'm going to wind up taking some hot water right off of the boil. Really nice and hot. Water from the tap is just not going to be hot enough. The towel will actually help to keep the cups from sliding around. The towel is also going to elevate the cups off of the bottom of the pan so water can actually circulate underneath the custard cups and help to speed up the baking. After I have these filled up about to where the water level comes halfway up the height of the cups, these guys are going to go into a 350-degree oven. I usually check them after about 20 minutes. And what we're looking for when we're checking them is we're looking for the custard cup, when we give it a little shake, to have a jello-like jiggle to it. So the custard has come out of the oven. It's really important to let it cool completely. If you have the opportunity, let it refrigerate overnight. Be really wonderful. The idea by that is that you're actually looking for a really cold custard, and we're going to have a hot, crispy sugar coating on top. We're going to wind up taking some granulated sugar. If it's lumpy, go ahead and sift it. And we're going to sprinkle the sugar on the top. Get a nice even layer. The more sugar you put on top of the custard, the thicker of a sugary crust you're going to get. So if you really like a lot of sugar, go right ahead and sprinkle a lot of sugar on. You want to try and sprinkle it pretty evenly as well. And then we're going to wind up utilizing a propane torch. I have one here that's got a plumber's nozzle on it, so I don't have to turn the torch upside down. And I'm going to take the flame and slowly lower it onto the sugar, and you can see how the sugar starts to melt. One of the things that's really important is that you move it around. You don't want to let it set in one spot. I like to focus on the sugar that hasn't been melted yet. It's going to send up some smoke, so you want to open up your window, turn on your exhaust fan, and definitely try not to breathe in the smoke. It'll make you hack. And you can see how the sugar starts to go from a clear sphere to a golden and then a deep amber sphere. It's starting to caramelize. And we're actually going to be blackening it. The word brulee means to blacken in French. You want to burn this sugar. It's about the only time I'm going to tell you to burn something. Notice I'm going to move the torch around, focus on the unmelted white portions of the sugar. And if I think that it's burning too rapidly, I can pull the torch up and keep moving it around. And there we're getting a really nice burnt sugar crust on the top. And there we are. That is how to torch, how to burn sugar on top of a creme brulee. Okay? Our goal here is to have, once this cools off, it's going to form a really, really hard shell. It's going to have a slight bitterness to it in addition to the sweetness. And that's kind of the juxtaposition we're looking for. Looking for a really sweet, creamy custard underneath and a really hard, crackled, slightly bitter, sweet sugar crust on top. Thanks for watching. Be sure to click on other links so you can get other recipes. If you don't see something that interests you, email a request to requests@mahalo.com. Also be sure to subscribe so you can get lots of wonderful additional information. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.